Boom, what's up, man? We're here with Charlie Angell.
Howdy.
How you doing, man?
All right.
Long time resident. How long have you been in the area, Charlie?
Well, I've been in Redford about 11 years, but I first got property in the Big Bend in 2001. That was some acreage west of Presidio, 15 miles west of Presidio. So I got that in 2001, and I grew up in the DFW area, but I moved to Florida in the early 90s after Hurricane Andrew doing construction work. So I got the property in 2001, and I spent the next 7 years flying back and forth to El Paso and driving out here and working on it, and then started exploring the parks, and then just realized I was much happier here than I was in Miami. So I just kept flying back out here to fix the house up till it was habitable, because it was just a shell when I got it. So yeah, in 2008, I sold the business so I could come out here full time.
Hell yeah. What were you doing what business were you doing?
Roofing. I had a construction company.
Yeah, but that's what you're doing down in Miami.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, during that 15 years I was there was a string of about 6 major hurricanes that blew through, so I had plenty of work all that time.
Job security.
Yep.
Every year, annually. Just
Yep.
coming back fucking everybody's shit up.
Yep.
Especially insurance work. Hey, man, so you moved out, so you got 2001, full-time 2008. What, did you instantly started your guiding?
Yeah, I actually was setting everything up for the guide business before I even moved here full time. I bought shirts, you know, I bought 2 Jeeps.
Stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole.
Everything.
Yeah.
Got it all ready. In fact, I even, you know, I was spending money to get everything set up before I even had it. And then, of course, I got here, and then I didn't have any guide work hardly. You know, when you first start a business, everything's word of mouth. So the first few years, it was kind of slow. So I still did construction here, little bits here and there for friends, you know. But, you know, now phone rings off the hook. I can't get a night's rest without people calling or texting. So that's not a bad thing. It's just, success is good, I guess.
Yeah, you want to work for yourself to have time, and then you realize that you have zero time.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. Yep. Well, I get to pick and choose more too, you know. So it's a good feeling to be busy enough to where you can say no thanks. I'm just too busy that day.
Yeah. And you got some guys that work for you, correct?
Oh yeah. I got several people that work here part time seasonally. You know, not in the hot summer because we're all slow, and in the dead of winter. Used to be a lot slower in the dead of winter. Now it's still pretty busy. So really, the only off time is July, August, September.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and January and February can be a little slow, but still enough to keep the lights on.
Yeah, just to do a trip a day, just a little half-day trips and stuff. Do you do a bunch of multi-day trips? How do you?
We do, yeah. I mean, we do, you know, multi-day river trips. We'll do, sometimes we do car camping trips or hiking trips, mostly in the state park for that. And, you know, where we are here in Redford, the mountains, well, you can't see them from here, but the state park is all around us, really. You know, if you look at a map of the state park, Redford is kind of a in-holding, Redford and the property owners here. So the state park boundary, when you drive towards Presidio, it goes all the way to the river for a few miles further upstream, and then, of course, downstream it does too.
We're sitting here very close to the Rio, like you said, surrounded by the state park.
Yeah,
all
those
beautiful natural lands, untouched.
Yeah, those big trees there is a riverbank.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, and you can see the river cane right there. That's always a dead giveaway.
Yeah, I saw
water
the flood level too. I was like, we got to be somewhat close. If you got the flood sign over here,
well, that's kind
that's
of a
just
joke.
for looks.
But
Yeah. Whenever it gets high enough. I mean, you've been here a long time. You've seen the water come up pretty fucking high if you've been here since.
I have. You know, when I moved here in 2008, it was right before the big flood, and so, you know, the road from Presidio and Redford all the way to Lajitas, they closed that road for a period of a few weeks because so much of it was underwater. And then when the water receded from the flood, some asphalt had been washed out. Some of the roadbed itself had been compromised. So they had to get engineers out to test stuff and redo things. It was probably fully closed where you couldn't drive at all for, I want to say, close to 2 months. And then once they got it kind of scraped out, they had signs saying road closed. You know, you could, if you were a local that lived here, you could still do it.
Yeah.
There was nobody there enforcing it, but you know, your average layman or tourist would come up and see that and say, "Oh, I guess I better turn around." But people that had property over here, you could just drive around it, provided you had four-wheel drive, because these roads were, you know, just all gravel back at that point.
Yeah, it's at your risk.
Yeah.
You can decide if you want to go or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the highest I've seen the water get since then here was just 2 years ago, Labor Day, we had a huge flash flood, and it flooded up over the asphalt again, over close to Rancho Moreno, it's called, where the rock ruins are and the old windmill.
Yeah.
That part of the highway was had water over it, and in fact deep enough to where I couldn't drive through it without, So I saw a TxDOT truck drive through it, one of those big giant dump trucks, and it was probably close to 4 feet deep. So that's more than an average vehicle could do.
Yeah, let them go first.
Yeah, and before I built this house, I asked my neighbor how high did the water get in the '08 flood, which is the highest recorded in the last 130 years that they've been recording. And he showed me where the water came up. It's a little ways over there. So I was like, okay, if that's as high as it got then, I'm safe building the house here. It should not flood unless there's a 1,000-year flood.
World record. Yeah. Flash through here. Yeah, because it was at 30,000. Well, Sandy told me it almost peaked at like 50,000 CFS. Do you?
Maybe downstream at a gauge, but up here I think the high was 29,000 CFS at the bridge, at the Presidio Bridge. And the gauge. There's a couple gauges downstream, upstream from here, but downstream from the bridge. When there's massive amounts of water, those things can be unreliable. Those gauges, they're not as maintained or as monitored or cleaned out and everything like the other ones. That is something I've been complaining about forever. Is like from basically from Presidio where the cable crosses, that's the last reliable gauge. From there all the way to Castellon, there is no river gauge, and that whole section there is the most heavily trafficked, commercially run section of river.
Yeah,
you can see the Castellon gauge be at say 100 CFS, and the Presidio gauge be at 100 CFS. But it can be 10,000 CFS in between because of these giant arroyos. If there's a big, huge storm in Mexico, it'll wash in. And you won't even know for 24 hours till it hits the Castellon gauge. So I've seen it before where river guides will come up to the boat ramp with canoes, and they're like, holy smokes, it's just a massive amount of water. Yeah. Or also just full of debris, tree trunks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when we went out there, we're talking about 20-something thousand, 30,000 CFS. We went out there, I think it was 37,000, 4,000 CFS when we went with that group this past summer. When we got a little bit of flash in, and you had to save us then, man. At 4,000 CFS.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
Yeah, that was gonna say when we were on the river, that wasn't that high, but it was still a big water.
Well, I went a couple days later at 21,000 CFS on a ducky, and it was like playing. Nobody was even stressed because it was so high. But when we went, it was fast enough and low enough to where it caused really bad issues for us, at least. We had the whole family in the water.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Well, hey, let me bring up a topic real quick.
Yeah.
Obviously the wall is a huge topic for everybody here, and it sucks. And hopefully we can do something to modify it or stop it. But we're not going to quit. That's for damn sure. But I'll tell you another thing that is a huge issue, and this was not done by the Army Corps or the feds. This was done by the state of Texas. I think it was Operation Lone Star. There's about 5 miles of razor wire set on T-posts in the floodplain around the Presidio port of entry. You can walk up to that because we did, me and Billy Miller and David Keller and a few others with some reporters. We went there a week ago. These T-posts, all that is just floodplain. It's just silt. Yeah. That's not firm soil or anything. And they just, I guess it was Border Patrol. I don't know who did it actually. But they just put in about 4 or 5 miles of T-posts into that river silt. You can grab one of those T-posts and shake it and pull it right out of the ground.
Yeah, that's why they put it there, because it's so easy to put it in the ground.
Yeah. Well, what's going to happen is on the next flash flood this summer, whenever we get a big rain, tree trunks and tree limbs and debris is going to wash onto that razor wire. It's going to rip all that out, and it's going to start running it downstream. Yeah. And it's going to run it downstream in the most heavily traveled commercial section of river with guides and clients in most of Texas. I mean, I'm sure the Guadalupe has a lot more traffic on it. But as far as West Texas go, this section of river here has more human traffic on it, human as in like tourists and guides. So we're going to have a problem soon. They need to remove that razor wire because it's not doing anything. There's no illegals crossing under the port of entry.
Where they're looking at you completely 24/7.
And then they climb the levee, and then they run into the entire Customs Border Patrol and ICE and. Who would do that? Obviously nobody. So it's a hazard. It's dangerous. Someone's going to get killed. People are going to get maimed by it.
Waste of money.
It's all performance art, and it's just barely stuck in there.
Yeah.
And even if it was stuck in good, it still needs to be removed because no matter what, you could put concrete posts there,
Yeah.
and when tree trunks and tree and debris like that, flotsam and jetsam washes downstream, it'll rip everything out.
Especially 5 miles of wire. I mean, that's multiple strands, multiple. So it's some will get dropped here, some will get dropped there.
And it'll be breaking pieces off.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
maybe even a 4-foot piece will just get snagged onto a tree trunk floating by, and it just rips off a 4-foot piece. But that 4-foot piece winds up in the rapids where we all go.
because those pieces aren't 5 miles long. It's multiple strands of all along that process.
I mean,
So-
it's if anything, stick it on top of the levee, get it out of the floodplain, the dumbasses,
Well, that's like I was talking. I just went to the Chinati, and a guy that was working there was telling me there's a rancher closer to the Rio that can't even fence in his property because he says that every time he digs holes, there's water coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how true that
There's
is.
areas, there's a big area. If you go follow the river road where it dead ends in Candelaria, then it turns into the dirt road, Chispa Road. If you go further up,
Yeah.
you can look at a state map or USGS map, but about, 15, 20 miles up from Candelaria on that old Chispa Road, there's a section called the Boggies, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't even have to dig. Almost year round, it's got the water table from the river is there, and so it's just kind of like a swamp with a dry crust on top. There's actually an old truck there, the Bales brothers, Mike Bales and his brother. They drove this old Dodge pickup out there a couple decades ago, and it got stuck in the muck, and it is just slowly sank. Over time, it just sank. The only thing that's like barely the bed is showing now, just filled full of mud,
Holy shit.
and the cab is about 2 feet above ground still.
Damn.
Yeah, they got it stuck. They couldn't get it out, and now it's just been steadily being swallowed up by the boggies.
Yeah, and then like the well out there, the hot springs they showed me was 5 feet deep. Like you're talking about water there. Like the ground is not, and that's another problem with the wall now. They're trying to figure out how to just make it stable when you're talking about this giant, big ass fucking wall.
Yeah.
And you can't even hold T-posts in the ground. How are you going to hold, all this? man?
How about they just spend that money on more technology, more border patrol, more vehicles? I mean, it's like such a waste of government money.
Yeah.
And I say government money because the government money comes from us, the taxpayers. Our money we're paying for a dumb project.
Yeah.
That's the part that really galls me. It's like we're shelling out tax dollars to solve a quote unquote border crisis that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
If there's a border crisis somewhere, please let's fix it. But this ain't that place. I can tell you right now, if I felt in danger here, if I felt like my life was threatened and I need a wall to fence me out from the criminal element, I'd gladly accept a free security wall.
Yeah.
But I don't need it.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. I haven't been burglarized once here.
Yeah. I mean, Border Patrol's right there. They're all up and down here. They have the cameras. Like I said, the technology, like, they're doing their job, and you're talking about this is the most highly trafficked for the business and the tourist, but yet the least trafficked for immigration and illegals, but yet they want to put the money here.
Well, and here's
$46 billion.
here's something also food for thought. This is the crazy part. Border Patrol agents, some of these guys have been here decades. A lot of them grew up here.
Yeah.
They know the river. They know this terrain. They know this area. Border Patrol has zero input in how they design and build this. Zero. I was told by a couple different agents that they wish they had some input in which they could help modify this, but they've been told that they're just going to stand back, watch it be built, and when it's all said and done, the key will be handed to them, and the government says, now enforce it.
Yeah.
So that's like saying, have the busboy make a pizza. I don't know.
Yeah, like we don't need him to make fucking pizza, bro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they're already doing, like we just talked about it with Sentinel. They're already doing a great job, man. Like it's not like, hey, we don't need any Border Patrol presence here at all. I mean, there's checkpoints every fucking way to get out of here. There's a customs checkpoint right here. There's housing. They got plenty of technology, and we'd be cool with more technology, but the physical wall it's going to hurt everything.
Yeah.
Not just whatever, and there's still going to be trafficking through here, even if there is a wall. Whatever, there's always going to be something,
Sure.
and they're just going to find it. And I feel that the trafficking that comes through is all under Border Patrol supervision almost.
Oh yeah, they
And
know
it's
about
on
it.
payroll, man.
They know about it. I mean, hell, it's the same as like in Lajitas where you have Nuevo Paso Lajitas on the other side.
Yeah.
You see, it's pretty common to see somebody paddle over with a boat and get a couple tires that they need for their car.
Yeah.
Or who knows what,
Yeah.
some mail, stuff like that. I mean,
And you're trying to stop that. This dude getting his tires to his grandma in San Carlos.
Yeah.
like.
or some prescription medicine or some food or who knows what.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple coolers brought over from Paso de Lajitas.
Yeah.
And that's as long as they're not full of drugs, then who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you're not trying to go past the checkpoints to go. And there's a lot of family around here too, man. There's centuries of family that's in between these rivers on both sides.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that alone. I mean, is already been kind of broken, but it's still people make it work.
Well, I try to tell my clients, the tourists that we take out when they, want to know about the border and things like that. And I'm like, what city do you live in? And,
Yeah.
let's say somebody says, oh, we live in Dallas. That's where I grew up. It's like, well, just imagine one day there was a war and the Trinity River that flows through downtown Dallas suddenly became the boundary.
Yeah.
Now everybody in West Dallas is in a different country and everybody in East Dallas is in a different country. And now you can't visit your family and friends anymore like you used to be able to.
Correct.
You got to go through a whole process. Or if you got anything wrong with your record, well, now you just can't see your family or your friends anymore because there's a restriction on you. So it's just, and hey, I believe in manifest destiny. I'm glad that we got the land from Mexico that we did to give us the West Coast and the great states of California, Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, all that. I mean, I'm glad we did. We did kind of do it in a bullying fashion, but oh well, that part's done. But still, it's just because that we have it now doesn't mean aren't still families for generations that we're always going back and forth. So it's easy to allow that. If Also, what is the percentage of drugs that comes smuggled on foot over the river? It's like less than 5%.
I was about to say maybe even less than 2.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, these days it's maybe less than 3%. I mean, it's all welded in hidden compartments, or it's in airplanes. It's in all the stuff that a wall would never stop.
the Canadian border,
Yeah,
like
it's the wall is shit, man. They say it's like using a sledgehammer for a finish nail.
Yeah.
The wall is like using a grand piano dropped on a finishing nail.
Yeah.
It just does. It's not going to do anything.
It's going to miss the point. It's going to miss everything.
And meanwhile, the victims will be recreational boaters, families, the environment, the river corridor,
The state
cultural
park.
sites, the parks. Yeah, there's 1,000 victims and not even one good benefit out of it.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of money, a
Yeah.
shit ton of money, dude.
Yep.
Like not anything small. This isn't a small project. I mean, we're talking what, 46 billion, 50 billion dollars is what it's.
yeah, I don't know,
And
man.
that's just for here. And if they wall this area, they're going to wall the entire state of Texas.
Yeah.
Is kind of the issue there too, man. This is the last bit of freedom, and if they wall it here, then what else is safe?
I mean, I've been saying it for years back during the first Trump presidency, but it's a vanity project. It's
Yeah.
called the Trump Wall.
Yeah.
He puts his name on everything. He's got the biggest construction project he's ever done. He doesn't have to pay a penny back. He gets his name on it, and all his cronies get to go up to the slop trough and oink it away.
Yeah,
For a colossal waste. I just hope the nation finds out more and more, and the world does, so they can see. And by the way, it's par for the course. Everything he does is a disaster. It seems like it's pretty rare that he does anything that is actually smart or thought out. And I say he. I'm not just blaming it all on Donald Trump. It's the people he surrounds himself with. So it's just isn't there a song, 99 Problems? It's like, if you want to look at America, 99 problems and a wall ain't one of them.
there you go. Yeah. It's not gonna. It's just so much, man. But it does seem like you said, a vanity project, or hey, I'll scratch your back, and now here's this big project for some contractor they're in cahoots with, and it's definitely just a money moving
Yeah.
ego trip. I mean, really, because like you said, there's so many other places, man.
I think a stockbrokers there in their industry, they call this churning, just moving stuff around so you can get your commission and everything out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. It's a construction project. It's just a big churn.
There's a lot of problems. Like I said, $46 billion could do a lot of things, man. That's
Oh man, you know what they could do along the border? Make a lot of parks, make a lot of boat ramps, make a lot of.
it's crazy that the government would put money back into making itself nice.
Yeah.
That's a odd opinion to be like, why wouldn't we not
Yeah,
put it back?
yeah, and I mean, I've always thought that was the function of government. You're doing things for the good of the people. Well, the wall is not for the good of the people, and you realize that when all the people that live along it are against it.
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, virtually nobody says, "Oh yeah, please." And by the way, with the plans they gave me, if they do what they're going to do, 20 feet that way, there's going to be a 30-foot tall wall. That's taller than my house.
Yeah, do you want
My view will be a giant piece of rusty metal. That's BS.
Yeah, that you build everything around to look out on the Rio and this beautiful land, and then you just have to see that
Yeah.
every fucking day. Do you
Yeah.
want to tell them about the letters you've got? You want to?
Yeah, I
from
mean,
the horse's
I received
mouth?
they were dated like the 16th or 17th of February, but it was just it was 2 packages of letter. They got my PO box wrong on the first one, and then they called me. I get a call, Army Corps of Engineer, and he's like, "Can I verify your address?" I'm like, "What is this? Oh, is this about wall plans?" He goes, "Yeah, it'll all be explained." By the way, I got to say, man, so I don't think the Army Corps of Engineers is incompetent. I don't think that they don't have their shit together, because I believe they do. I mean, I have friends and family that have been in the military and the Army Corps of Engineers, and I think they're pretty well disciplined to know what they're doing. I just think they've been told to rush this through, and so they're doing a pretty sloppy job of it, because a lot of landowners are getting letters for land they don't own, including me. I've been sent aerial surveys of some stuff that I don't even own. And it's like, they can't figure that part out. I don't know why that is.
It's the fucking government. You can't figure that. You're engineers.
Yeah, maybe they should put some of the budget towards trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Also, I mean, there's so many of these giant arroyos flowing into the river. There's going to be multiple openings. And by that I mean like the water can get 3-4 feet deep as it flows into the river. So you can't just put a metal culvert pipe there. It's got to be much bigger system, and that means the wall's perforated. So it's just dumb, and that's why it's never existed with one here, because it's just going to fail and cause just a huge colossal mess. But yeah, got my letters. They send it to you, one regular mail, the duplicate certified mail, and it's basically they give you the A, B, or C options, which is what you want: a shit sandwich. A is a shit sandwich, B is a shit sandwich with mayo, and E is the shit sandwich gets shoved up your ass.
Yeah, and you can just wait until that happens.
Yeah,
what they're saying.
Yeah, you don't even get a bite.
With a $5.99 Onyx subscription, I can find out that you do not own this property.
Yeah,
just so you know.
Yeah, there's hunting apps.
Yeah, that's what I just used with my Onyx Hunt.
Yeah,
because that's what we use to be nosy with property. Literally, $5.99 a month, you can. Find out that that's not yours.
Not that difficult to do. Yeah. So, I mean, I wonder, are there good people in the Army Corps? Of course. Are there some good people there that are deliberately making this little slipshod just to buy time? Because I got to say, man, they need to rescind the emergency order. You want to build a wall, there's some criteria. David Keller can say it much more eloquently than me, but if you think that there's a need for a wall, prove that there's a need for it, as in, like, what is the data on how many people are crossing here illegally and how many of them are violent criminals or whatever.
We've seen none of that. Not one fucking stat on that.
If you can prove that, then the next criteria, B, is do your diligence. Check for archaeological sites in the area. Do the environmental surveys. Do all that stuff, which takes a few years. Make sure you can clear everything to where you're not going to disturb archaeological sites, graves, burials, anything significant environmentally, which, by the way, in the desert on the Rio Grande corridor, everything's environmentally sensitive. Yeah. And then by that point, if you can satisfy all those requirements, like every other project in America is run and should be run, if you can do all that, well, then you deserve the right to build the wall. But you're going to need a few years of diligence and showing it. But they're not going to be able to prove that this is not a sensitive environmental corridor. One of the reasons I built this deck is because there's so many species of birds in these trees. These trees aren't even native. They're the old Aethel tamarisk. But the birds have adapted. I mean, there's a buzzard roost at certain times of the year, and at night it is right now. In the evening, the buzzards all come in. There are hawks. There are osprey. I've seen 7 species of owls here. All sorts of birds, man. We got painted buntings, the works. I don't put out feeders. I just put out bird baths, the waterers, and that's good enough. And sometimes it's a lot of these songbirds, they don't like to go to the river to drink. They will, but it needs to be a brushy area because they need cover so the hawks don't get them. Yeah. But yeah, man, I would say that easily I've seen over 200 species of birds here. And there's probably quite a bit more hummingbirds. I mean, again, you name a bird species, everything but penguins are here.
Just they can't make it from Australia. Yeah, and then like you're saying, like it's definitely trying to be. They're sloppy. There's no due diligence because they're trying to get it in the works before. I mean, the next 2 years is over. The next election. And they're just trying to put something up.
Well, right? I mean, they're trying to do something. Hopefully, I think their plan is not hopefully, but before November, because in November, if we can vote and flip Congress to be blue, we can halt the funding for this, and then do the studies necessary to make sure it's actually needed and that we're not disturbing anything. There's also a cost-benefit analysis. Let's say nobody's ever crossed illegally in the 11 years I've been here. Nobody. Actually, one guy did. One guy did. You want to know how that happened? We had a guide here years ago, and he had a dog that he found, a stray dog in Candelaria. So he brought it home, or he brought it here, and I was like, "Oh man, we got too many dogs." But and then he went back to Austin to visit his family, and his dad's a vet there. Westlake Animal Clinic or Westlake Veterinary Clinic. Brought the dog back, had its shots, got it all fixed up, had a tag on it with his home phone number, his parents' phone number. Well, he split and he left the dog here. Or actually, no, he went on vacation for a while. So I said I'd take care of his dog. That's what it was. Dog ran off into Mexico like the dogs always do. They swim in the river, they cool off. Dog disappeared for a couple of days. I get a phone call from a lady from Odessa, and she's like, "Hey, my husband lives in Mulatto across from where you live, and he doesn't speak good English, but he has your dog or the dog." And actually, they called the number in Austin, and then my guide's mom, she's a friend too. She called. She's like, "Hey, man, this lady from Midland says they got Birdie, the dog Birdie." So anyway, I'm like, "Okay, tell him to meet here at noon tomorrow, and we'll meet him down by the river and get the dog back." I couldn't be here, but one of my guides did, and this guide happened to have dreadlocks, and so he got the dog. I get back from work that day. The dog's back. Everything's cool. Yep. Okay. 2 days later, I'm out in the backyard by the river, just puttering around, trimming some shade and whatnot from the tree limbs. The Mexican guy the Mexican citizen that brought the dog back, he walks over the river. It's about a foot deep, and he had a small bag of weed, and he said, "Hey, I have this for your friend, Hippie Hair." Oh shit! Yeah. That's what he called the dreadlock guy, Hippie Hair. He said, "Could you give this to him?" I was like, "Dude, just take it back, please." That's the one time in 11 years I've seen somebody cross illegally on my property. That was the one time, and he was given a small bag of weed for the dreadlock guy. I guess because they must have hit it off when they got the dog exchange going.
That's when you know you're in West Texas, and when dreadlocks is hippie hair, not Jamaican hair.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was actually gonna be my next question. I mean, you've been guiding here almost 16 to 18 years ish. My math's correct. Have you seen anybody on your guide trips walking back? Like, I'm sure you've seen people come up to the banks in Mexico. They'll do all their irrigation. They'll wash their clothes. They'll fish. But have you ever seen anybody cross over? And I mean, you're doing trips all day, every day, essentially.
I've seen a few times. Well, almost every time it's a vaquero. It's some cowboy either on horseback or on foot, but they got a lasso and they're out trudging around trying to find whatever their prize cow, horse, or goat is.
Just meandered on over there. Just coming back.
And I will say this: back when I lived west of Presidio in the early 2000s, there was back in that day, the early to mid 2000s. There used to be quite a bit more marijuana traffic. And it was at night usually, and you could see a string of flashlights. So, cause my house there is 2-story. I could see out of my bedroom window sometimes, like half a mile away in the distance, a string of flashlights headed up towards, away from the river. And then a couple hours later, you could see the same string of lights coming back. So they would go up, they would drop off duffel bags of marijuana or whatever, and then go back to where they were, and whoever their contact was in the U.S. would ostensibly get the whatever they were smuggling. But it was almost all weed. I've not seen that happen. And you can look at a graph of like how marijuana smuggling from Mexico has plummeted. Yeah. Because it's become legal everywhere here, and it's much better potent quality grown in those hydroponic factories. Yeah. Nobody buys Mexican dirt weed anymore, because you can get some damn good shit everywhere else. Yeah. I don't smoke weed myself. I used to, but
I bought 5 pounds of Mexi weed for $80 one time. Yeah. That lets you know how good it is.
Yeah. So that, if you look at the graph, that has just plummeted the Mexican marijuana smuggling into the U.S. because there's no demand for it anymore. And conversely, human trafficking has risen in the exact same, angle, but in the opposite direction. And it's really the same routes that they would come through the desert to smuggle weed. Now they just bring people up there and then say, okay, cross now. Yeah. And even that's all dried up. Yeah. And then I don't know if it's ironic, but it's wrong word, but just the frustrating anger thing here is in the State of the Union address 2 weeks ago, the president said that our border is the safest it's been in the history of our country. And then in the same breath, 10 seconds later, he said, in the last 9 months, there have been 0 illegal immigrants entering the country. So if that's true,
which we know it's not, but that's just another lie. But yes, that's true.
I will say it has definitely drastically dropped since he got in there. And so I said I couldn't think of anything good he did. Just the fact that he's in office makes people not want to cross. Yeah. I mean, by the way, would you want to enter a country that's not fun anymore?
Yeah, it's like, fuck. Yeah, I mean, and like we said, Border Patrol is doing a great job for what they have. Dude, like, they're doing their job.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, man. Are you kidding? And they usually are pretty good at sniffing out somebody if they're suspicious. Like, oh, this guy has got something up, It's been a long time. They know my logo on my vehicle, so they're usually pretty cool with me. And I always tell Border Patrol, you're always welcome on my property. You need to come in here and look. That's cool. Don't surprise me.
Yeah,
Ideally,
don't kick my door down.
Yeah, don't break anything. Don't shoot my dogs. But if you need to get in here, get in here. Do your job, man. It's free police work.
Yeah.
But again, I don't have a problem here. And I never have. And I don't think anybody ever has here. So.
Yeah, I mean, and like it's not like, and even the places that seem like they're not patrolled are systematically handled as well. Like I found out there's not a, you can take the dirt road from Ruidoso to Marfa.
Yeah, Pinto Canyon
And
Road.
there's no, but, if there's anything suspicious going down there, as soon as they get to fucking Marfa,
Yeah.
they're getting lit up to be like, hey, what are you doing?
There's cameras there and such.
Yeah.
They may not be a Border Patrol vehicle there, but they see every vehicle that goes by.
Yeah. And then they're going to get you in Marfa or up when you go to Van Horn or something like that and just kind of check in on you.
Yeah.
And
it's not easy to try to do something illegal on Pinto Canyon. It looks like it is, but. And you can ask Sheriff Rick Thompson about that. That's where he got busted with with the horse trailer full of coke.
Oh, okay.
This is back in like the early '90s.
Yeah, wasn't there Presidio just had they were actually trafficking guns south. We actually had that problem, right, in Presidio?
That happened here a couple years ago.
Well, I'm talking about I thought just recently. It could have been a couple years ago.
You mean
the sheriff
the guy that lives in Presidio?
Yeah.
He was like holding guns. Well, I'll tell you
Mexico needs the wall from us.
About 5 years ago, was it 5 or 6 years ago? I was working on this deck here, and I heard, sirens and vehicles, and I looked over there, and coming down the dirt road was like a black pickup truck, and right behind it was several Border Patrol vehicles with everything, lights blazing, sirens going, and a couple sheriff's vehicles, and. That truck blasted through the barbed wire fence over there, drove down to the river, disappeared behind the trees, and then you just heard a boom, and water sprayed up. It hit the river hard, and then the engine died, and it was like you hear, and the sheriff and everybody in the Border Patrol, they jumped out and started running down. Again, I couldn't see all this; you could just hear it at this point. And then you heard the engine start up, and it took off, and then you saw it in the distance hauling ass.
Yeah.
And I talked to a Border Patrol later, and I was like, that was, by the way, I believe U.S. citizens. Or at least they were authorized to be here, but the Border Patrol told me that they suspected that guy was smuggling guns into Mexico, and that's what he did.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, it could just be somebody with a warrant out for their arrest.
Yeah, warrant or drugs on them. And
they're just like, well, I know I can get into Mexico and then squeeze out later. So I'm sure they got the plates though, so that vehicle would never.
The vehicle
come back.
stays in Mexico. Yeah, it never comes back.
Anyway, but I saw that one, so that was definitely an incident. And would a wall stop that? Sure. Yeah. Okay. But so now we're going to spend several $1 billion to stop one dude who might have had a warrant out for his arrest or some dope on him. Who knows what?
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's and like the technology wall's already here. I don't know. I'm sure they would update it more. But I mean, there's technology all the way to Alpine to fucking Fort Stockton to Marfa. I mean, there's game cameras. They got map ideas. All the information's so known. I mean, there's only so many places to go.
Yeah. If you go to that Arenosa campsite you were talking about, if you go there and you go to that little shelter with the roof on it, look up at the high bluff. There is a camera right there on you.
Yeah.
And then at, where that rapid is, it's right parallel to the road. Some people call it Dirty Diaper.
Yeah.
I call it River Road Rapid. But if you're there, just look at the cliff on the roadside and you'll see a camera up there.
Yeah.
I got nothing to hide. Put them up.
Yeah.
I'll moon you. I don't care.
Yeah. Just don't.
Yeah.
They're not going to get you for smoking a little doobie here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 24-hour surveillance at Lajitas now for the last couple of years. I mean, there's probably at least 3 Border Patrol agents set up. There's one on top where the zip lines used to be.
Yeah.
24/7.
Way up that hill. Yeah.
It does, the vehicle does not leave for shift until another vehicle is sitting up there.
Yeah. That's I'd like to get up there. It looks like a good view.
It's this probably get cut up, but actually when I moved to Lajitas, I took my drug test and somebody gave me a tab of acid, and I took the acid and walked up that hill. It's so fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And then I was just looking at the border then and being like, damn, this is crazy how free it is and open it is out here. Yeah. And I thought a piece of barbed wire and it was kind of ugly, let alone fucking.
Yeah. Acid doesn't show up in a drug test, does it?
Well, no. And I did it after. I had it in my pocket. And
Dilated pupils will show up in the drug test. But.
No. I luckily Lajitas has gotten lax. They let you smoke weed now because they just need anybody to fucking hire, bro.
Yeah, well, it's a tough place to work.
Yeah.
I understand they don't pay the greatest, and if you like the desert, because they do have some long-term employees, but it's definitely hell, man. I get employees that show up here, new employees, and they're like, some of them after a week, they're like, screw this.
Yeah. It's either for you and you never leave, or you're like, fuck
Yeah.
this place, bro.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah. I moved down here and then never left. And that's typically the case of most people. Your car breaks down or something, man.
Yeah.
A lot of guys. But yeah, you would know. The financials of how much. There's multiple. Do you know there's probably 10 to 15 outfitters at least in the area if you count Presidio to Terlingua?
Well, I don't think there's that many, but
yeah.
well, actually, so the national park they put out contracts for guide services, but a lot of them are just like the bicycle companies say that's here for 3 weeks out of the year, and then they're not the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But so out of the actual full-time operating, there's 1, 2, 3. I think there's like 6.
And does that count the one in Marathon? I know that's not here,
Yeah,
but they go down.
I was counting
yeah.
that. Joe, Hidden Dagger.
Hidden Dagger, yeah.
I always that name is always so curious. It's like it almost sounds like that the dagger is hidden in your back. I don't know.
Or your pants, bro.
Where's the dagger hidden? It's in your boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like come on with us. We'll cut you.
There you go.
No, but Joe's a good dude. I like him. And the name is hey, it's no different. It's no better than Angell Expeditions, I guess, right?
so
I always think that the term outfitter, people call themselves outfitters. If you're not familiar with the industry and somebody says, "Oh, I'm an outfitter," he's like, "Oh, you do fashion or what?
Yeah.
you design clothing?"
Yeah.
Outfitter is just such an odd term to me, but I think that terminology comes from way back in the 1800s when you have mule skinners and mule packers and outfitters and
you had somebody actually packing all your shit and they got like the clothes and all the equipment and stuff. Yeah. Guide service. Yeah,
anyway.
but even at 6, that's just the people that are employed from them up under them.
Yeah.
How they make all their money. You got
it's going to ruin our industry. That's for damn sure. A wall. It's and of course if it hurts our industry, it's going to hurt the restaurants. Everything just chain reacts.
Yeah, like you said, state parks. The Big Bend State Park, the Big Bend Ranch State Park, is already one of the least visited state parks in Texas.
It's been increasing.
Yeah.
It's been increasing.
Well, it has been, which has been great. And they've been putting the money back into it, and now that's about to.
You think about this now, and again, I'm just repeating a lot of things I say, but all the people that work at the state park, top to bottom, the rangers and employees there, they're all in the dark on what's going on with the wall. They're not told anything. They don't know. It's happening in their park, but they don't have any input. They don't know what the hell's going on. Same with the national park, top to bottom, the highest echelons of administration to the very bottom. Nobody knows. They're all left in the dark. The only people that know what's going on is A, the government, and B, the contractors that are making hundreds of millions. They know everything. They ain't telling us shit, and they're making a huge profit of tax money that we put in to be secretive and screw us over with this dumb fucking wall.
They know everything, but what's going on here?
Yeah, they sure as hell know to count the money that's being handed to them. That is just straight up bullshit. If we can't have any input on something that's blasting right up the tailpipe on us, and we get zero input, that's tyranny. I'm not one of those kind of guys who's like, don't tread on me or anything like that. But this is just straight up bullshit, man.
Yeah, it's not a democracy. It's not. There's no say from us. We're just. Our only say is us fighting back. It's just us making our voices heard, the petitions, trying to get everybody, trying to get the awareness of it. But there was, like you said, they gave you the option of you can either give us a number that's probably shit, or we're gonna just take it and you can get whatever we want to give you.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Tony wanted to ask, did they give you a price offer? Like, did they give you a number on your property?
No. So the letter that everybody has gotten so far with the ABC, there's a separate letter that is an initial offer. That initial offer has ranged anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000, depending on where your land is and everything. But that offer is just money that allows them the ROE, the right of entry.
Yeah, and then they can put it
They're
wherever
not
the fuck
buying
they
it. That
want.
money's
Yeah.
not to buy it from you. That gives them they're paying you for the right to sign away your right, so they can walk around and start surveying soil samples, whatever they're trying to do to figure out how do we want to do it, what are we going to put here,
Yeah.
where's it going to be located. You're giving them the permission to do that. That's what that money's
Yeah.
for initially.
An easement almost.
That's exactly what it says
Yeah,
on it. Yeah. And it's good for 36 months, which is the contract. Yeah, something like that. I mean, it seems to vary too, depending on who you are. So that's what that is about. And then eventually they're going to make an offer to buy the land from you. So I have not, I don't need the 1,000. I don't need the 5,000. I mean, if they offered me 50,000 for a right of entry, I'd still say cram it.
Yeah, because I mean, you're talking about like a year of work, like for your entire life, for the rest of the time you have this property.
I mean,
To be
for some
shit,
people, it's far enough away, especially if you don't even live here, absentee landowners. It's far enough away that's not going to ever disturb them per se. Me, I'm going to hear construction every day,
Yeah.
right here. I mean, it's 30
For 2
feet
years
over
at
there.
least. Yeah.
Vehicles, jackhammers. One of the landowners here said he was approached for a staging area for material to do work at around down near the Hoodoos.
Yeah.
And they said that some of this would be explosive material in a storage container, like dynamite,
Yeah.
TNT,
Yeah, for the mountains. Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it is, nuclear bombs,
Anything. Explosive.
explosives,
Explosive.
and not explosive diarrhea, but explosive ordnance.
Yeah, dude, and I mean every day. I mean, because that's a long project. I mean, we've gotten approached about an 18-month hold for 600 people, but I mean 18 months still seems quick to put. I mean everything that they want to do here. Like it's going to be years of work. Like it's
No matter where they do these man camps, I just don't. I'm on the water board here in Redford. We couldn't. Our water system right now is functioning very well, but if we added. We couldn't add 100 people here, much less 500. It would overwhelm our system, burn up our our pumps. It just wouldn't work.
I don't know how your gas is, but Terlingua, we don't have gas right now for locals and regular tourists that come. In the spring break takes.
Oh yeah,
Terlingua
the
out of
gas stations run out. Yeah.
Imagine 600 people.
Yeah.
And all those work trucks and all. I mean, just the work trucks alone.
Yeah.
It would take everything away from Terlingua's like structure.
I'll tell you this, too.
The water's already bad there too. The water board is fighting to keep our wells and pumps and ROs working to not have a fucking boil
water notice.
boil water notice, and like there's no more meters already offered because we're at such a max. So even if you bought land in Terlingua, we can't get meters until it turns into a municipality.
Yeah,
essentially.
and I'll tell you this: if they were to do something in Terlingua, set up a man camp and drill their own well, that's just going to suck out of the water table for the city.
Yeah. And all the landowners around there that spent $50,000 into getting a well, and now they're all having to, go back in and lower it, and then every time. I mean,
Yep.
When you're taking 600 people shitting, drinking, eating, washing. I mean,
well, and also don't forget making concrete.
Yeah. No, I heard that Presidio Presidio's already the company. Is there a concrete company at Presidio? I'm assuming.
There is one, yeah.
I was told
it's been there for years.
Yeah, no, I was told that they were already getting brought up with I think 200 tons worth of concrete, estimation, and it's like we're not building a physical wall, but what the fuck do you need 400,000 pounds of concrete for?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the concrete company said. I have no idea about that. This is just like we said. There's so much information going around everywhere, and trying to make sure that what you are relaying is truthful and everything, and not just hearsay, because we do get a lot of that. And you don't want to throw anybody up under the bus that is trying to also fight the wall, because we all need to stand together.
Yeah. Well, there it is, man. It's just there's no pluses to building a wall here.
Yeah.
We can go down the list and just keep saying, but yeah, it's gonna ruin the water table. Everything's going south if they make this happen. It's just there are no pluses, and except for anybody sitting at home saying, "Oh, secure the border, it's dangerous." Get the fuck out of here and get the fuck over here.
Over here, yeah.
And I mean,
it's all people in Fort Worth that have never fucking seen this place that are just going on their political ideas. And that sucks.
I had one guy comment to me. He's like, "Oh, but you wouldn't stay there overnight." I'm like, me and hundreds of river guides throughout the decades camp on the banks of the Rio Grande. all the time. There's
sleep in the
millions
river,
of
bro.
nights. Yes, when you total up all the guides and all the clients over the last 50 years of guides here, that's probably over 1 million nights slept by people. Nah, none of them had their organs harvested.
Banks, fucking like they're. I mean, people are. It's constantly there. And when's the last time you've heard a river guide get held up by?
You know, there was an incident in the 80s down in the state park. There was one incident where 3 dudes from Mexico that were high as kite on all sorts of drugs left their little village over there. If I understand correctly, they shot a couple cows and horses. They were so wasted. They were just drunk and on all sorts of stuff, maybe PCP back in that era. Went down to the riverbank and then to the cliff and shot at, they actually killed a client in a raft. But again, this is in the 80s.
This is 46 years ago, one time. Or
Yes.
if you went to Fort Worth today, it'd be 100 times a day that somebody gets stabbed.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
And that's what Sandy was talking about. We were talking about her, and she was like, yeah, when customers are like, oh my God, is it dangerous over here? And she's like, you live in Houston, man.
Yeah.
How many people have died today in Houston
Yep.
of non-natural causes?
Yeah, died, robbed,
Yeah, like
abducted, raped.
any crime that's been committed.
Cars stolen, all that.
And you could go for days on the river and one probably never see any fucking body besides another company.
Yeah.
It's and like we said, the families, man. I mean, there's the list is long. I'll go at the beginning of this. I'll probably start out with I'll look up some percentages and some ratios and some actual numbers to give up.
Yeah.
So that everybody knows what's going on. Let's see if we have any more questions from anybody. Is there anything you want to go ahead? Let's see. Elena Harris said no questions. Just love the Charlie dude. Everybody wants to say thank you for being the voice, man. I know you're very out there.
Oh, yeah.
About. There's a lot of people saying things, but you know you're giving the information, you're showing it. The border crisis videos are hilarious, bro. I love it. It's so nice to see.
Well, everybody needs to do that same thing that I've been doing, you know, and a lot of people have. So I think if everybody does it, the more awareness we get out there, the better it'll be. And you know, I said it before, but in today's day and age, world leaders and elections are won and lost through social media these days. We can't stop this. We can
Trump
change
won
this
from social media.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm not saying for good or bad, but, you know, this one's going to be for good because social media can really be a brain rot. That's for damn sure. But it can also, world policies have changed through social media. Yeah. So we can change this if everybody keeps doing it. Everybody keeps posting. Everybody keeps reposting, spreading. Tell every single stranger out there that you see. And you know what? Again, the Big Ben, she sells herself, man. She's a beautiful place. That's why we all live here. People come out here, they are like, wow. I mean, I've had MAGA clients before when in river trips with me, and they look at it like, that's Mexico? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, I don't know if we really do need a wall here, do we? And it's like, no, we do not. Thank you for attention to this matter.
Just takes seeing it, man. It's just, you see it yourself, and you're like, fuck, we don't know. Nobody wants to ruin this place.
And I don't want a bunch of illegal criminals coming in here either. But if that was happening, please build a wall and protect me. And it's not, and we know that because we live here. So to all of you sitting in your gilded palaces in Fort Worth, Dallas, Houston, Austin, New York City, D.C., everywhere else in the world, Oklahoma City. I'm thinking of all the really hardcore right-wing towns now. Oh, and Mark Wayne Mullen. I don't think he's an upgrade from Kristi Noem. I think it's just downgrading the usual stuff. But, you know, hey, if you're listening, Mark Wayne Mullen, why don't you come out here, see the Big Ben, and realize we don't need the wall here. There is no state of emergency. If there is a state of emergency somewhere in the Rio Grande, well, then please fix it there. It's just not here, okay? There's a state of emergency in a lot of major cities with crime and such. There's a state of emergency with not finding a cure for cancer yet. Let's put the billions for stuff that helps mankind. The wall here is a waste of money, and it doesn't help mankind.
Beautiful, man. Like you said, get out here, man. If you want to come check it out, hit up Angell Expeditions. Hit up any of the outfitters, any of the guides, man. Come out here and see it for yourself. This is your problem. Like you said, all the big cities, regardless if you're here or not, this is our freedom. This is where, I mean, this is supposed to be home in nature and conserved, and they just want to run right through it. And if they do that, they'll do it anywhere. So make sure you do what you can. Don't be fucking lazy. Come out, come talk to people, come see what's actually going on.
Yeah, if you're a doubter, please get out here. I mean, if you seriously think that there is a problem here, just get out here. You'll fall in love with the area, man. You'll see, you know, and you can camp on the river with us. Come on, do it. People do it all the time. And there are definitely people that thought it was dangerous. They've been converted. Everybody that comes out here is converted. So if you're a doubter, get your ass out here and get saved.
The biggest danger is the sun. Drink water, stay hydrated.
Yeah,
and
yeah. And Wall's not going to fix that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Charlie, so much. I appreciate your time, man.
You got it,
This
Hunter.
worked out good,
I
bro.
appreciate you too.
Yes, sir.